Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. We are from Group 4 are going to present to you our biodiversity presentation, Climate Change in Malaysia.
Hi, my name is Adrana Balkis. Firstly, when is the climate change happens? So, climate change in our country will happen when there is an increase in surface temperature. This can happen when there is more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. The situation will lead to the less of the sun's heat is escaping back into the space. Therefore, our country will become warmer day by day. There is a data between 1970 until 2013 where our country has experienced surface mean temperature increases of 0.14 until 0.24 degrees Celsius per decade. For example, our country has experienced a phenomenon called El Nino at 2016. This phenomena is actually a warm oceanic phase where this phenomena will brought to the prolonged drought and also the sweltering heat. This phenomena also will cause the low rainfall in our country. Therefore, this shown that our country has experienced the increase in surface temperature.
Next, what caused the climate change to happen?
Firstly, the cause of climate change is deliberate open burning. Open burning releases a variety of toxic pollutants into the air, also exacerbates soil pollution, water pollution, and food contamination. Open burning releases significant amounts of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere, which raise the Earth temperature because the gas trap heat in the atmosphere. This will lead to more frequent and intense drought, storms, and rising sea levels that can threaten the biodiversity. They also lead to deterioration of air quality and loss of property, resources, animals, and people. For example, Jabatan Bomba dan Penyelamat Malaysia (JBPM) Johor has received average of 7 or 8 emergency calls a day regarding open burning. Next is the development of housing area. Development of housing area causes detrimental effect, especially towards the environment, such as water pollution, air pollution, and noise pollution. This issue is more serious in rapidly developing urban areas such as city like Kuala Lumpur, of course, because of the climate change of the city, acid rain, and other factors. Thus, it leads to rise in temperature. This is because of the increase of carbon dioxide caused the absorption of heat is higher in rural area. This is due to the paving of the surface of the earth and urban building materials consisting of cement and concrete that have a high heat absorption capacity. Other than that, burning of fuels from vehicles is also one of the cause of climate change. Most cars, trucks, ships, and planes run on fossil fuels. With that said, vehicles is a major contributor of greenhouse gases, which is carbon dioxide. Vehicles also produce harmful gases such as carbon monoxide. Besides, the amount of vehicles used by people in Malaysia are high. There are always so many cars and motorcycles on the road every day, producing large amount of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, which also leads to the rise in temperature of the earth. Last but not least, uncontrolled illegal deforestation also contributes to climate change. Factors that cause illegal deforestation are the opening of new land, the opening of new agricultural areas such as the plan of opening lands by Felda and Fekra destroyed the plant species. The most significant effect of deforestation is the change of weather parameters, relative humidity, and rainfall patterns. Other than that, deforestation of tropical rainforests for the sake of development is even more worrying. According to several IPCC climate simulations, tropical mountainous areas are expected to experience temperatures of 2 degrees Celsius to 3 degrees Celsius.
Moving on, how to handle climate change. Currently, there are two strategies that are being implemented to combat climate change, which is using railway vehicles and using plastic alternatives. Using railway vehicles. By referring to the pie chart of greenhouse gas emission by sector, we can see 20% are being contributed by transportation. Next, pie chart of greenhouse gas emission by land transportation. From the pie chart, we can see petrol car contribute 50.88%, which is the largest contribution in the transportation sector. Why? Why does petrol car contribute 50.88%? As you know, as population increases, the need for mobility increases. So, petrol car are the most convenient and the cheapest option for domestic use because the price for petrol car compared to electric car are significantly cheaper. Plus, the distance traveled by petrol car are more significantly larger than electric and hybrid car. Okay, how do you want to reduce the greenhouse gas emission? We can use railways vehicle. By referring to the bar chart of greenhouse gas emission in the transportation sector, we can see that land road transportation contribute 87.9%, which is equivalent to 55.366 gigagrams of carbon dioxide released, compared to a railway vehicle, which is only 0.1%. Next, strategy of combating climate change that are currently being used are using plastic alternatives. As we know, plastic is the most utilized material that are currently in world. It is because of its properties such as flexibility, durability, lightweight, and low on cost. Based on study by World Bank on plastic circularity opportunities in Malaysia, we can see that 24% of the plastic introduced to Malaysian market are being recycled, 13% of the plastic are being disposed, and the remaining 63% of the plastic are not properly disposed in proper facility, which eventually would leak into the environment. The effect of this leakage are very significant to marine life, such as turtle, which could suffocate on plastic waste. How do you want to reduce the plastic generation? Firstly, we can use paper bags. When we go out shopping, we can also carry out tote bags. Next, if you want to buy some drinks, how about we use plastic straw alternative, which is rice straws. We can also implement 5R concept in plastic waste management. Lastly, supermarket can also charge 20 cents to buy plastic bags when we go out shopping.
So, the situation of the problem now is still keep happening due to people nowadays don't take serious about the change of climate in Malaysia. As we can see, many people move from rural areas to cities. Then, many vegetation areas are cleared to become houses and factories for industry. In addition, people also don't care about Malaysia's law, which is about open burning. So there is lack of common sense and make this situation more worse day by day. Lastly, the government don't really give full commitment to encourage people to overcome this climate change. Therefore, we need to suggest recommendation to overcome the climate change in Malaysia.
I will continue with the suggestion on how to overcome the climate change. So first of all, we should normalize ourselves to unplug every electronic devices that are not in use. This is because plugging can generate heat to release to the surrounding. Even though we have switched off the switch, only the power that has been cut off from being flow, but not the electricity. Thus, the generating of electricity, even though at the minimum rate, must require energy. The requirement of energy will cause the heat to release to the environment. For example, television is one of the devices that require large amount of electricity, as it does not have a specific button off. Instead of, we are using remote control to switch it off. This shows that television must be always ready to receive signal from the remote control itself for us to switch it on. Thus, this action of the television require energy anytime. Thus, the requirement of energy cause the heat release to the surrounding and can contribute as a factors of climate change. Other than that, we should avoid traveling by airplanes. This is because airplanes require higher energy to burning its fuel. For example, jet aircraft using kerosene as its jet fuels. Meanwhile, for ordinary aircraft, it uses gasoline. Burning of both fuels, kerosene and gasoline, will cause of carbon dioxide emissions. So carbon dioxide is one of the greenhouse gases that can cause global temperature to rise as its concentration on the atmosphere have increased. Airplane also unlike cars and other vehicles because airplane manufacturers cannot be converted to electricity as batteries are too heavy for the airliners. Thus, burning of fuel is only the way to generate energy for the airplanes. The burning of fuels will require higher energy and then we release more heat to the surrounding, and up being contribute as a factors of climate change. So lastly, we should practice carpooling habit as it can help a lot to reduce the release of carbon monoxide to the atmosphere. So carbon dioxide that come from the vehicle itself is also one of the greenhouse gases. Thus, this carpooling habit is very advised for everyone, as cars nowadays have evolved in the technology that have come up with an improvement that cars today can use batteries instead of burning of fuel. Thus, this caused the cars nowadays to become more environmental friendly to our earth. This action have helped to reduce the greenhouse effect and the rise of temperature of our earth, and also can contribute to avoid the factors of climate change.